And we are live. Aaron's not here, so I don't have all the fancy bells and whistles. I guess if you want, I could put this up. It's the nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Aaron's not here, so we're doing what we can, but that's okay because it's a good night. You know what to do. www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get your orders in online. They will bring it right to your house, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or you can go down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up, and you will save 15% on your order. You know what, Keegan? Hold
yes,
on,
sir.
Keegan, you know what you can also save 15%
on? Tickets to Monday's game.
Yes. If you go to my Twitter feed, @ChadBrendel, there is a link. Go to my profile. You shouldn't have to scroll down far, but there is a link, and you can get tickets to turn the Cintas red and black.
Yeah.
That's the goal for Monday. It needs to be a red and black Cintas Center. 15% off. You just need the code NATI15, NATI15, and the link that is provided on my Twitter feed, and you can get into the game and watch the Nasty Nati play for a chance to go to Dayton in the Elite Eight of the TBT. The program for autism, no joke. They finished second last year. They were the runner-up in this whole thing. They're the number one seed for a reason. They were very impressive tonight as they got behind a little bit, and it was like, ooh, we're going to see a little upset in the first game. And then they took control and kind of got their game across the finish line. So that's going to be a good one on Monday night. So go get tickets. Go to my feed on Twitter, and you will find a link to save 15%. Keegan, that was fun. Like, is it the real crosstown shootout? No, it's not the real crosstown shootout. But those are all guys with skin in the game.
Oh, yeah.
They played in this game. They know the rivalry. They know what it's about. And that was a really fun atmosphere. Not only last night for both teams. I didn't stay for the Xavier game. I had to go pick up the kid. But you saw last night, fun atmosphere for that game as Xavier came back. And then a really, really fun atmosphere at Cintas tonight. And Nasty Nati gets the win. Overall thoughts from you as we open the show?
It's like it was one of the cooler and most fun basketball games I've covered in a while, just because it's like a combination, a culmination of like all of my childhood of watching Bearcats basketball. Because you have Kashmir Wright coaching, and then you have Kane Broom, who could easily still be playing, but he's coaching. And then you have Troy Payne, Jaron Cumberland, Jacob Evans. And it's all working perfectly. And I think kind of the dynamic of the offense of just give it to Jaron or Jake and see what happens is really fun. I don't know how sustainable it is throughout the entire tournament. And we saw
as long as they're the two best players on the floor, it's sustainable.
Yeah.
And the past two nights, they've been the two best players on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, and I don't know if you noticed this, but Neil Meyer showed it to me, and I didn't see it because we were like down on the baseline. But he like reached into Mark Lyon's ankles and took them out of his legs that step.
He erased his soul. He erased his soul.
I didn't realize he was running towards the basket, like turned around and had to come back and try to contest it. But
he was he's actually going more towards the Nasty Nati bench. Like somebody subbed in for him. That's where he was drifting off, and like Trey or Jake put the shake on him and made him look pretty bad.
Yeah, it got really, really interesting because I don't know if they don't convert that possession. Yes. I think X had the momentum that they were probably going to go down and score a basket. But I think it can't be overlooked. When the Elam ending starts, they get 2 consecutive stops to start that Elam ending, kind of coming off of Troy's ISO bucket. And that can't be overlooked how big that was, because it came down to like the final basket for either side was going to win the game. So it was the balls on Jacob Evans after the missed free throw. You have no momentum the past 3 possessions. Just step back. It was impressive, and it was so fun to watch.
I look, and I think you would agree with this. We were sitting kind of opposite sides, so we didn't get to like game commentary much between the two of us. But when Nasty Nati didn't get the ball to Jake and Jaren, the offense went flat. Mm-hmm. When they got, and I'll give Zip them up some credit. I'll give X. Can we just stop calling Nasty Nati?
I hate it so much. Typing out Zip them up is the worst thing ever.
X and UC. When X was able to deny Jake and Jaren, or Jake and Jacob.
Jake and Jaren. It's after midnight. It's okay.
I've got 2 13-year-olds driving me nuts in my house right now, watching a Taylor Swift
complaining
on the West Coast. Anyhow, when they didn't get the ball to one of those 2, things went flat. Like it just, you could tell X decided, okay, we have to take away this motion that they're doing. They're getting the ball to one of the 2 of them, and they're attacking. X didn't, like, that was kind of for me, that was a bit of an embarrassment for X for the way they played defense most of that game. They just weren't interested. When Jake and Jaren got the ball, they went right by him almost every time.
Yeah, and Jaren said it after Friday night's game. He said, my strategy is to get downhill. I might have to take like 1 charge, or I might get called for 1 charge, but 90% of the time it's going to be a bucket or a foul. And that's what it was every time. And then you brought up like not being interested on defense. There was one possession where I saw Mark Lyons let Mamadou Diarra like get a rebound. Like he was just like walking back.
Yeah, I watched it. He was just like, they booed him.
Yeah,
the ex-fans actually like jeered him for not.
And that was in the second quarter. Like you shouldn't be that gassed.
So let's recap the game. We've done a 10,000 feet. Starts out 6-0. I think the first 3 or 4 possessions were Mamadou missed shot, turnover, Deshaun Mormon drive to the rim, nothing, and then another Mamadou possession. Mm-hmm. And it was 6-0 Xavier.
Yeah.
And it was like, look, I love those guys. Those are 2, Mamadou and Day are 2 of my favorite guys on the planet. But if this team is not getting the ball to Jake and Jaren, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like Trey's not there. Troy is obviously in like point guard mode.
Yeah, which he's supposed to be. Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about that as we look forward. We're going to talk about that. But it was like, come on, what? No, don't do this again here.
Yeah.
If this game is 19-4 X in the first quarter, I'm leaving. I'm getting in my car. I'm going to pick up my daughter from my best friend's house. I'm going to pick up my puppy from my neighbor's house. Like, I had to arrange a lot of shit to go to this game at the Centos Center tonight. So if it was 19-4 in the first quarter, I was leaving.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's 30-11.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Like literally a 30-5 run. That was probably the most fun I've ever had in the Centos Center. I'm not going to lie.
Makes sense. And
I've been there many times. They don't like me there. I don't like them. Like, it's understandable. I actually had a guy, one of the guys at the media, like when you walk in and you check in.
Yeah.
He was like, are you Chad? And I was like, yeah. He goes, look, I don't like your team. I don't really like you, but you do a great job. And I was like, yeah, you guys don't even want to let me into this building.
Yeah.
You want to tell me right now to go get in my car and get my ass out of here. And I understand it. I'm fine with it. It's
Yeah.
okay. But that was as fun as anybody that wears red and black has ever had in the Cintas Center. That 30-5 run. It was amazing.
Yeah. And I think it was capped off with like a Mamadou dunk and then a subsequent Jacob Evans 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was looking down, like tweeting, and then I just heard like everybody go crazy. And then I looked down and tried to tweet again because live tweeting games is impossible. And then Jacob hits a 3. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Mamadou just, I don't think he did it as much today, and I might be like out of the loop a little bit, kind of getting reintroduced. But when he hit those 2 threes early Friday, I was like, does he just do this? Because I remember him
that's what
one
he did
as a
when
player.
He was here.
He
didn't shoot many. Yeah, like he shot like 8, and he made like 5 of them.
30 feet in the air apex.
That's it was always the same way it happened on Friday, where he catches it and like just nobody guards him, and he pump fakes himself, and then he gathers and he's like, oh.
Booker on the money team literally watched him catch the ball and then turned around towards the hoop. Like
there's no way he can make the shot. But if you watch his free throws, Mamadou can shoot.
Yeah. He's probably the best free throw shooter on the team right now.
Yeah, like he's skilled. Well, Jaren was shot really well tonight. He missed.
Not last night.
Not last night, but tonight.
He missed about half his free throws last night.
Tonight he was 9 of 10. I'll take 9 of 10.
Yeah. Anyone would.
And especially for him, where he is just constantly downhill. Like that was the theme for this game, was get him the ball. They ran a bunch. I think Cash is a really good coach, man. Like they ran a lot of good stuff.
I never see any coach just chill on the baseline. When he's on
the baseline, just chilling.
he's got a cup of water and he's just like sitting there.
Well, the water thing is right there. It's right next to him. And he stands all the way back on the baseline.
Yeah.
But they ran good stuff. Like, especially when they really X made runs. And they really there were a couple points where it felt like they were about to just like do what they did last night.
Yeah.
Where they went from down big to like pulling away. And they ran a couple pin down sets on both sides for Jake and Jaren, but more predominantly for Jaren, where he just came off this like tight pin down in the middle of the like where guys stand for free throws.
Mm-hmm.
And came right off of it tight. Troy hit him with the ball. He either, a little floater or he used a power move and got to the rim. But like, I really thought some of the actions they ran and some of the stuff they ran to get Jake and Jaren free, once X was overplaying them, they were running double screens, and then the big was coming back to screen. Like, so Troy would come off a screen from like, let's say Coriante and then Jake. And as he would come off the screen from Jake, Jake would come back off a screen from Coriante to the outside. And that allowed them to like loosen up that X defense a little, because they were not interested in like sitting down and defending. If you ran a couple actions, they were just like, get your bucket. We're going to go down and try to score.
Yeah. Which everyone knows he's coaching at the high school level right now. And I'm going to do a shameless plug of a story I've got coming out in the next week or so. But he told me, he said he was going out to UCLA in August, and he's going to talk to Coach Cronin about like what he needs to do to step up to the next level and coach. So if he can continue to have success at this level at TBT and try to lead them, who knows what can happen in terms of spots opening.
I thought they were well coached. Like, it's not something you say in an environment like that.
Yeah.
But I just thought in both games, like when things got a little tough and they had to dig down or call a timeout, I thought they came out of the timeout and good stuff. I thought they stopped runs as effectively as you can in those type of settings. I was just impressed with with Cash just kind of a guy running the show. And look, I'm biased. Cash worked here. Like, Cash is my guy. Cash called me from the Netherlands and said, Chad, I blew out my knee. My basketball career's over. I'm coming home, and I want to work for you. Okay. Yeah. Sounds great. We can do that. He was one of the first hosts or co-hosts in the podcast network. We did a full season where Cash was the guy breaking down basketball games. I love Kashmir Wright. He's my guy. But I would be fair if I thought they weren't well coached. I thought they were pretty well coached. I thought it was good.
And I think the important thing that everyone needs to realize is you can't just put a body as head coach and succeed in this tournament.
Right.
Because I had never really sat down and watched and immersed myself in the TBT. But with that, seeing it from Twitter clips and stuff like that, I just kind of expected it to be like a pickup atmosphere. Everyone's chucking up shots. But these guys are playing like they played in college. They're going balls to the wall 110%. It's not like a Wednesday night NBA game. They care about this.
And if you don't, you get exposed. That's what I've learned from watching these. The guys that aren't trying, the guys that are just out I'm not going to
don't say it.
This is what I'll get to with this point. It is very clear the guys that are still playing professional basketball and the guys that have stopped playing professional basketball and want to play on an alumni team with their friends.
Yeah.
That delineation is very clear.
Yeah.
Because there are a ton of American players grinding over in Europe. We have to make this point in regards to Trey Scott. Trey Scott is working on an NBA deal. And if you have an NBA deal, you cannot play in this league. Exhibit 10, 2A, whatever. If you're on an NBA contract, you cannot play in this tournament. So it's all guys that are career G League guys or guys that are playing over in Europe or guys that have not been playing very much that, okay, well, all the crew's getting back together, the fellows are getting back together, we're going to play, whatever. You can tell which ones are still grinding out their professional career and which ones are kind of, hey, hey, man, you want to come play this thing with us? Yeah, I'll be there. Let me know when to show up. There's a very clear, view, and it shows up in how this tournament has played out over the years. Most of the time, the team that wins has a bunch of dudes that are playing for high-level European basketball leagues. And then they come back and they all get together. The team that won it in the beginning, the first couple years, everybody was putting these college teams together. And I forget what they went by, but they were no, this is 9 pros from Europe. And we're coming to kick everybody's ass. You're playing with your buddies from college, and we're here to win $1 million.
Yeah. And which I don't know if you're trying to bounce around calling anybody out, but I mean, the one thing that I saw was Trayvon blew it. He was 2 for 9 from the field and 1 for 8 from 3. I'm not attacking the dude, but he looked like he was shooting way too much, thinking he was going to make it. And there was some bad misses, and he's not currently playing professionally. He spent 2021 and 2022 in the Euro Cup with Hamburg. And
I think he announced on Mo Egger's show that he signed a deal for this coming season, but he did not, he didn't play last year. And when he showed up last year to this event, he looked in the same physical condition that he did this year.
Okay. Which he's always been a stocky, tall. He's got a really good body on him, but having the shot calibrated is very evident to all these people. Jaron Cumberland and Jacob Evans, they're making everything. you can't go 1 for 8 from 3 and play however many minutes he played. He played 27 minutes. So at some
And
point,
they
your plus
relied on him.
minus is,
Like,
yeah,
they were looking to him drive and kick. Samaj Christian can't shoot. He doesn't want it. He has no interest in shooting
yeah.
a three. I had a couple guys, I don't know who they were, but I had a couple VIP guys sitting next to me on the
You didn't
thing.
okay, you didn't know who that was either in the Barry
No.
Sanders jersey? That was Darius Baisley.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
I
looks
realized
completely different than he did in high school.
Yeah.
Completely different than he did in high school.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's Darius Baisley.
I covered him in high school. Are you kidding me?
He was sitting right next to you the whole game.
He didn't even look remotely the same.
Well, he had a like weird hat on. He's wearing a like
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering, who is this dude next to me? That's a dude I've talked to.
and I don't know this. Which team would he have more likely gone to?
Oh, he was cheering for X.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Cheering for X. Well,
even when
I think
Evans,
Samaj is one of his buddies because
Okay.
he's like, why won't Samaj like break him down and step back on that three? And I was like, because he can't make a three. Like,
Did
he
you
knows
say that
it.
to him?
Yes. Well, if you watch the game, if you watch him play, he is not interested in anything outside of 18 feet, 17 feet. Now, he was their best. Him and Kareem Cantor were their two best players. Wasn't even close.
Cantor,
That's not a knock on Samaj, but he wasn't looking to pull up and shoot a three. Why? Because he knows that's not
just
what
like
he's
Troy.
good at.
I mean, Troy didn't shoot well tonight, but he's a facilitator.
Sure. Now, you want to get to Troy for a minute?
Sure.
He's got to be number 3. This team needs somebody, other than Jake and Jaron, to score at least 10, 12. And we'll get to one other guy that I think can do that, who I've been really impressed with in both of these games.
And he didn't even go to UC.
No, you're correct. But Troy needs to be alert enough if teams are overplaying Jake and Jaron the way that X decided to do for a large chunk tonight. Troy's got to get downhill like we saw him do at the end and get that and-1.
Yeah.
Right? Like, run a fake action. Run some dummy stuff.
I asked Cash about that after the game, and he said it was a double down screen for Jaron.
Yeah.
And then he just said stars got to be stars, and that's what Troy did. He took advantage of the situation. So
Troy's always been a guy that can score when he wants.
Yeah.
If they're going to continue to like move on in this thing, he has to decide like, okay, I can't have 6 points at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's not going to be on his jump shot.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to be on the strength of him like knocking down threes. He can knock down threes, but he's not a three-point shooter. He needs to play off of teams sending everything at Jake and Jaron and attacking the middle of that. As you know, that's the point of spreading teams out.
Yeah. That floater for him is a high percentage shot. I'd like to see him do that a little bit more.
Yeah. But that's what I just get 10 feet and in. He can hit the floater. He's big and strong. He can finish through contact. Like, be a little bit less facilitator and a little bit more like, okay, we've hit a little bit of a cold patch. Let me get mine for a minute. And now then all of a sudden that changes. Okay, we can't overplay this action on the right wing. We can't underplay over here on the weak side because Troy's just going to come at us, get a layup, and it changes the dynamic a little. Marquez Letcher Ellis is the reason this team has won 2 games.
Yeah.
Without him, especially without Trey. Like, with Trey, this team might be able to win $1 million.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that near the end of the game.
Without him, like it's going to take Jake and Jaron are going to have to be great for 5-6 games. Like,
Yeah.
and that's really hard to do for both guys to be great for that many games. Marquez Letcher-Ellis, he blocked shots, he rim ran, he defended, he got a couple buckets that, and then he hit a 3 in the fourth quarter.
That was a big one. Yeah, that was a big shot.
That was a huge one.
Yeah.
Because X had the momentum at that point in time. Like it was like last night, they were on the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And that 3, I think, kind of stunned them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we did what we wanted to do. And this guy we left open and walked away from, threw it in and kind of changed the math.
Yeah, and he blocks shots really well, as you mentioned, and he gets hands on like the ball whenever it's in the air, which I think is one of the more impressive things.
Like he's a Mick Cronin Bearcat. To play with these guys, that guy's the deflection king on a team that had to run sprints if you didn't get deflections.
Yeah. So the ball is always in play to him, and he's getting hands on it, and he finds the ball. He'll dive after a loose ball. He it's like you said, he fits perfectly in the game, and he was plus 19 at the half, and Cash was telling everyone like he's the reason we're going to win this game, and he said he was everything to him in the post-game press conference. But yeah, which I don't even remember that many deflections watching this team like in their prime in college. Like Jaron Cumberland is just swatting balls out of guys' hands underneath the basket while they're going up for a shot. And I don't think people realize like how much timing that takes. Like that is not easy to do.
I don't understand why more teams don't do what Mick Cronin taught his teams to do when it came to like teams slap down on the ball.
Yeah.
I watched those teams get drilled like constantly. Don't slap, grab, take, go get the ball. Because if you do this, if you're not 100% accurate, if you hit here or the official is going to call foul every time.
Yeah.
Because you're making a big motion. And Mick always taught his teams, just do this. Just reach in and grab it. Because even if you're a little off, if you come away with the ball like that, the refs aren't going to call it.
Yeah.
And I love what these guys are still doing it. They did it, 10 times tonight, it felt like?
Yeah. Let's see how
where
much
somebody would turn and all of a sudden, oh, that's mine. It's fun. I don't know why that is not a universal college basketball, NBA basketball thing. Officials do not call that.
Yeah. They only had 6
if they see you
tonight.
Just reach in with both hands and all of a sudden you have the ball, like, oh, that's his ball. He took it.
And even if you want to smack down, like in this event, they are not going to call it if you like just get them on the hand or on the fingers. So I think
they're letting people kill each other.
And I love it so much. It's the best. But yeah, there were a lot of fouls. I think I don't know if you remember this, but I think they got away with a questionable jump ball call where it was the ball was just kind of bouncing around a little bit. But
yeah, well, Keegan, I have a dilemma. This is a real dilemma. This is something we're going to have to talk about here for a minute. That's a way separate from the game. I have destroyed Jeffrey Anderson, the college official, right?
Yeah.
I have killed him for years. So I was in Memphis at the EYBL Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
And guess who I just happenstance. The court that I needed to watch was right here, and the other court that I needed to watch was right here. and the official that was grading the official on these two courts was right next to me. Guess who it ended up being?
Jeffrey Anderson.
Yeah, me and Jeffrey Anderson are now friends. Like when did you remember the official I dapped? Did you see me dap up the official like both nights? Yeah, that's Jeffrey Anderson. Like all of a sudden, that's my boy. I have destroyed that man.
Do you think he knows? Did he like come up to you and be like, "Hey, I see all your tweets"?
No. We were just watching games. Like it was just like he has, like when you go to AAU tournaments, you see those guys that have he was there with the notebook, and I was there watching the game here and watching the game there, and we just started talking. He's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Cincinnati," and then I'm like, "Oh my god." The only other guy I've killed more is Pat Adams. And now me and Jeffrey Anderson are buddies.
That's funny.
And now I guess I can't kill him anymore, can I?
No, I think you can.
I can?
You don't have your
what if he
profile
searches
picture
and
on.
Sees me?
You don't have your profile picture on, and he probably doesn't actually remember your name. He probably just remembers your face.
That's fair. All right. Well, anyway, back to live action. That Xavier team wasn't. They had enough talent to be good. They didn't they didn't look like they were super cohesive.
Yeah, I think they were kind of relying on the home court advantage to carry them more than it actually did. It was like the Mark Lyons thing, not going after a rebound, kind of just, my job is to shoot threes, so I'm just going to shoot threes, and it doesn't matter how many I miss. Because if you're the coach of that team, you're not taking out Trayvon Blewett.
Right.
But yeah, I think this UC team probably they wanted it more. And I think they had a little bit more edge and more swagger to them. Because Jaron Cumberland, I went through the play-by-play on Stat Broadcast. It was tied at 57 with 5:58 left. And that was when he did his typical both hands on the ball.
Yeah.
No, not steamroll.
Oh, the steal.
Both hands on the ball.
Yeah.
And then no, not even that. Both hands on the ball, did a slight step behind the 3-point line, and then just in his face made a 3, 60-57. That was when X didn't take the lead again. That was when the momentum shifted. And that's just something that this X team didn't really want to do. They weren't willing to, put it on the line, which Nasty Nati was. So,
do you have any clue what happened with the JP Macura thing?
His back flared up. That's the word.
No. In the game, did you see there was one point that the officials had JP and Jaron during a timeout talking to the officials, because I guess Jaron was letting JP know as he was taking over, and JP got offended or whatever. And so the officials are at the free throw line right on the other side of the Nasty Nati huddle, and one has Jaron, one has JP, and I'm like, this he's not even playing. What is he doing? What are we doing right now?
No,
with JP out here complaining to the officials.
I saw him chirping at them while they were warming up before the game. I saw JP chirping at them as a group, but I didn't see that. I wish I would have. That would have been interesting.
It was right in front of us. It was just in a regular timeout. I think at the early part of the fourth quarter, when right after Jaron did the shush to the Xavier bench.
Mm-hmm.
I think JP got mad. And, sometimes when your dad big times you, you get a little mad, you get a little rebellious. You want to fight him in the front yard. I think JP wanted to fight Jaron in the front yard. It's summer alumni basketball. We're having some fun with it. Come on.
What year did they beat Xavier pretty handily at Fifth Third before it was renovated? Was that 2016?
Yeah, it was the last.
It was Jaron's freshman year.
when
Yeah, it was
when Trayvon scored 40, I think, and Jaron big time JP in the second half, and like established,
blew it. Yeah.
blew it, scored 40.
There's three images I can never get out of my head just thinking about that game. Jaron pulling up from like 36 feet right in front of Mick, and Mick just being like, did that just happen? And then Troy Copain bouncing it off the back of the rim 10 feet up in the air and then falling. And then Jaron doing his typical drive and then like kind of stops and then draws contact, puts it up and in, and then JP just like, how?
Yeah. I'm your dad. That's why I'm your dad. That's what a dad does to his son on the little pickup rim in the driveway, right? That's what a dad does to his son when he knows, like, hey, maybe the son is getting close to. He might be like it might be time. Like he's getting a little close. And then dad puts him on skates and says, all right, yeah, just keep it down, kid. Keep it down. I love the shootout, man. It's so fun. It's such agony when they keep going into that place and losing. Like I hate that place. It makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
To see a win there tonight was it was fun. Look, we're tortured. They haven't won there since 2002. Like it's I've been there for a lot of them. I stopped going because they started putting me in the last row. And I'm like, I'm not sitting in the last fucking row. Like literally the last row of the building. The only thing behind me at Cintas, the last is a wall to the outside.
Yeah, that's where I had to sit too.
Yeah.
But
you didn't have to sit there the last 2 nights.
No, yeah.
We had a lot more fun the last 2 nights in that place.
Yeah. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Crowd was very
good. Give the ball to Jake and Jaron. Just give him the ball. Jake even said it. He hadn't gotten the ball in a while, and then he hit a 3 from the corner out of a timeout where I think they went up. X went up 4.
Yeah.
And they called a timeout, and then he hit a 3 from the corner, and he was like, just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. Like, stop throwing it to Day-Day and Shaq and Corey and like just give me and Jaron the ball and let us do our thing and we're gonna win this game.
Yeah.
And eventually that's what happened.
I do think Corey can make some damage though, just because he can back it down and get right there. And yeah.
You're not gonna stop him. Now I want a Keegan Nickoson exclusive here. What is it like shaking hands with Coriante DeBerry?
It's like putting your hand inside of a catcher's mitt.
And having it close.
Yes. I felt like a 3-year-old boy. Like you know the hands that they put on the fingers? Like I felt like that was my hand.
It's my favorite thing that people don't realize about Corey. It's not that his hands are huge. Because they're long, like they're big by every definition, but they're also this thick. Like it's not it really is like you put your hand inside of a pillow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a small man and you are a big man.
His hands were so big that when I shook it to introduce myself, he said, "Hi, my name is Corey," and then I forgot how to speak because I was thinking about how small my hand was. I was like, "Nice to meet you."
Was Book the ex-head coach? No, Rick Carter, that worked for Chris Mack, was the head coach for X. I didn't see Book. Apparently he was on the bench. I didn't ever see him. How many of the current Bearcats were there tonight? I didn't see the current team tonight, but that's understandable. Like they were all there last night. They had a signing thing. And then tonight, what's up, man? The Twitch bots are hot. The Twitch bots are hot on Keegan. Yeah, Keegan kind of fine. They didn't say that about me.
I feel like a 6-year-old man.
So they were all there last night. I saw Landers tonight. I saw CJ Anthony after the game. I didn't see like if they were there. I just didn't see like where they were located. But it makes more sense than last night, huh?
Yeah. Tobler was there. Chris Vogt was there.
Yeah, well, Tobes is always there. Tobes sent me a text before the game and said, "I feel gross being here." And I'm like, well, as long as they win, it's fine. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. Just gotta win. Because if not, I feel disgusting being there. I'm like, they've got my picture on the wall outside. Like, don't let this dude in with the red backwards hat. They're like, it's not Fred Durst, it's Chad Brendel. Don't let him
like
in.
Dave Portnoy to the NFL.
Yeah.
I did want to ask, is that when you said that the tournament is at UC next year, was that kind of like a joke, or is that?
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. Well, I think actually next year Cintas is scheduled to next summer they're doing renovations.
Okay.
So I don't think Cintas is going to be available next year.
Just do either Fifth Third
Arena,
or do everything at Dayton.
No, I mean, like it's been a huge success in town.
Yeah.
Like that's been a big success having it here. So why not just flip it over to Fifth Third?
Mm-hmm.
And Cincinnati won bragging rights. Like if those two teams play, the one that wins, because it's not always going to work out exactly like this, where they're in the same seeding.
Yeah.
Well, they're always probably going to be in the same region, but maybe
that it takes one win
where they play up against the number one and Xavier's whatever. It just so happened that they had a chance to meet in the second round. If we're being honest, I didn't think they were going to beat the money team coming into it.
Yeah, you told me before the game.
Well, once I knew Trey was out, Trey was their best player.
Yeah.
You were at the scrimmage on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Trey was clearly the best guy on any floor that we watched on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think we expected Jake and Jaron to put it on their shoulders, willingly put it on their shoulders and try to shoot the lights out.
And play as well as they did for 2 games.
Yeah.
It's really hard to play that great for 2 games. And they were both great for 2 games. So, yeah, and the money team had NBA guys. That 7-footer was probably Zubich, whatever.
Yeah.
He was as good as anybody on the floor on Friday.
Yeah.
So they had Trevor Booker. They had 2 big guys that they probably could have. But Corey Davis scoring 2 points on Tuesday was wow.
And Corey then Jaron hitting the winner over him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting.
And Jordan Crawford is really good. I mean, he had a bunch of assists, but he was terrified to try and get a shot up at 10 feet because while they don't have a lot of bigs, between DeBerry, Letcher Ellis, and Mamadou, they still can block a shot. They still
they're lanky. Yeah.
Erase mistakes for a guy that's 5'6".
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Anything, what happened with Lions and the team fighting in the tunnel yesterday? There was no fight in the tunnel yesterday. It was Jake and Jaron did the interview after the game yesterday.
TBT. Or are you talking press conference?
Yeah, the press conference. So when you leave the press conference, you have to go past the Xavier locker room to get to where the Cincinnati locker room
I don't know if you heard what Jake said.
No, I didn't.
So I think the story is it was just basically hey, we're playing you tomorrow, get ready, kind of going back and forth. And
it was Mark Lyons being Mark Lyons.
as Jake is walking in the press conference, he's like, "I'm not Yancey. Talk to Yancey. I don't know why you're talking to me." And then he went up to the table. And then Jake got to the table. He's like, "The camera's on, right?" Because Coach Cronin's gonna call me and be like, "What are you doing? Shut up."
But that's the truth. Those guys weren't any part of that.
Yeah, that was like multiple. They were still in middle school when that happened.
I think the only person associated with this thing that was part of that was Cash.
Yeah.
Kevin wasn't there yet. Troy wasn't there.
No.
Like Jake, like none of them were there yet. Cash is the only one that was around for the fight.
Yeah.
And I think Cash probably would have played better than Mark Lyons did the past 2 nights, for being honest. Cash only has one knee.
He still would have gone after the rebound.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
It was fun. It was a fun couple days. Monday, 7 p.m. Against Program for Autism. They were good, man. They were really good. So this is going to be can Jacob Evans and Jaron Cumberland be great again to get them to Dayton? It'd be fun to see them do that.
Yeah.
I've got to make a choice. We might have to rock, paper, scissors.
For what?
Because, well, the BBP is Monday night at 8.
Okay. You want me to go on BBP and you go?
I mean, we might have to rock, paper, scissors. No, you're going to go to the game. I'm going to be here and do the BBP. And then we might get you in your, like, from X if they win.
Yeah.
And put you in front of like a Xavier thing to broadcast Cincinnati winning the Xavier region. But what a spit in the face that would be, is if there's a bunch of red and black in Centos, Cincinnati beats the number 1 seed to win the region, goes to the Elite 8, and there's a bunch of celebrating in front of Xavier graphics. And apparently they set up yesterday, Friday, the autograph session for the current team.
Mm-hmm.
They put them at a table, and behind the table was just a mural of like the Xavier campus. Like it was like an ode to Xavier. And they're like, we're putting the UC guys there.
I mean, you would do the same thing.
So every picture that somebody took, or like everything that somebody, every memory that somebody has of the current team at Xavier on Friday, the backdrop is this like, just it's like the mural of
campus
Xavier University.
That makes sense. I would do the same thing.
Norwood Community College, whatever.
I like Norwood State better.
All right, before we get out of here, give me your final, like, okay, I'm new to this, but I got to like be a part of what just happened this weekend.
I mean, it's fun. It makes me want to cover basketball. Like, it's making me itch to cover basketball season. And because this Bearcats team is supposed to be good. Like, on paper, they're supposed to be good. And you never know, because they're going to play double the quad one games this upcoming season. They have to go to Kansas.
Not fun.
So it's just, I love covering basketball. It makes me look forward to it. And then, like, it's what I said, the first thing I said on the show. I grew up watching every single game that featured Kashmir Wright, Jaron Cumberland, Jacob Evans, like all the way through. And now I see it all culminating, and they're like doing things they haven't done before as a TBT team. So to be able to see it is really fun. I like covering press conferences where the team I'm covering wins. That's always the goal, because I did not want to cover a losing press conference.
Covering losses suck, man. You've done this enough. Covering losses suck. It's the worst.
Indiana football for 2 years does not put a good taste in your mouth.
No comment. I'm not even gonna. All right, well, that's the nightcap. We'll get back after it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure for tomorrow. Tomorrow I have been informed I'm taking my daughter to Kenwood Mall to school shop, which is maybe one of the worst places on the planet to go shop for school clothes.
Okay, I was gonna say it's not like you're getting notebooks and binders at Kenwood Mall.
No, just clothes. Like I want to go to Kenwood Mall. I want to go to Lululemon and spend $140 on a $15 pair of pants.
Well, if you're gonna do that, go to Fabletics and get the membership and get all the discounts.
Yeah. Wait till you have. I can't wait. Keegan got a small dose. Keegan got a small dose of birth control with my daughter and her friend in the room,
live on a broadcast.
Yeah, I'm not like I was. He came like he popped in the room while I was in the middle of a conversation with my daughter about. So her birthday is Tuesday, so she's holding me hostage right now for like, okay, we got to go school shopping and we got to do this and we got to do that. And Keegan was just sitting there watching, and you could just see the look on his face. And I was like, yeah, don't have kids. And if you do have kids, have boys. Can you have boys? Like, can you? Is there a way? Are we at a genetic point that you can make sure?
Oh God.
Anyhow, Keegan, it was a lot of fun the past 2 nights. I didn't know what to expect.
Neither did I.
But it was a lot of fun. Like I've had a blast.
Yeah, I expected it to be some like pickup game where no one really cared, but they're playing like they would play Xavier at Fifth Third Arena in December.
Yeah.
Or whatever, November. But
so it was a great time. And thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. And like we're 2 weeks from training camp. We're 2 weeks from higher ground. That was Kelsey saying bye to everybody. Thanks for that. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. That's the nightcap. Jesus Christ. Thanks to Galactic Fried Chicken. Oh, boy. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.